The Fullerton Hotel is known as an exquisite five-star hotel in Singapore today. But have you ever wondered about the rich history behind this building that has stood for close to 190 years? The Fullerton Hotel stands on the site of former Fort Fullerton, which was built in 1829 to defend the settlement against attacks from the sea and also to oversee the trades along the Singapore River. This Fullerton building once held an important point of reference for public roads, as it used to be the mile zero of Singapore. This milestone system can trace its roots to the Roman Empire and was likely introduced to Singapore by the British Empire back in the 1840s. However, this imperial system was replaced in the 1970s by the modern-day road system. Sir Lawrence Guillemot had suggested to erect this building to celebrate the British existence in Singapore for 100 years. The architect of this building was Major P.H. Keyes of Keyes and Doddswell. This is one out of the 59 lion heads that are evenly spaced around the Fullerton, and the reason behind these lion sculptures was to indicate that this building was the king in comparison to the other British buildings in Singapore. The British colony also embraced lions as it symbolizes power and strength, which is coincidentally the literal meaning of Singapura, Lion City.
The main occupant of the Fullerton building in those days was the General Post Office, which was essential for communication back when there were no internet services or mobile phones. The drop-off point for mails was located on the first level of the building, which would allow them to land straight on a conveyor belt located in the basement. Today, this space has been converted into a hotel bar, where original ceilings and window designs have been preserved. In the hotel gallery, there is a freestanding red post box, which was in fact one of the original post boxes used in the past. Fullerton Building was once a government building, which housed different departments such as the Ministry of Finance, Economic Development Board, and the Inland Revenue Department. As you can see, notable figures used to work in this historic building, which include former President S.R. Nathan, who worked in a Marine office back in the 1950s, and former Prime Minister Goh Chok Tong, and late Dr. Goh Keng Swee, who served in the Ministry of Finance here in the 1960s.
The Fullerton building was a significant landmark during the World War II and the Japanese occupation period. When the Japanese attacked Singapore on 13 February 1945, the government house, today known as the Istana, became uninhabitable due to the bombings. Therefore, Governor Shenton Thomas and his wife sought shelter in the Singapore Club in the Fullerton building. It was here where the British government made the decision to surrender to the Japanese. During the last days before the British surrendered, Fullerton building was a temporary hospital to treat the wounded soldiers. And also during the Japanese occupation, the Fullerton building became the headquarters of the Japan's military administration here in Singapore. Even after the Japanese occupation, the Fullerton building also holds a symbolic role in our current life. The late Prime Minister Mr. Lee Kuan Yew, who was determined to build a new Singapore after the Japanese occupation, would hold speeches and rallies around the vicinity of the Covenant Bridge to appeal to office workers. Rain or shine, he would not fail to deliver the speeches. His wife, Madam Kwa Gyok Chu, would always oversee the rallies from the balcony of the Fullerton Hotel.
In the Fullerton Hotel, hotel visitors will not miss the bust of Ng Teng Fong, a real estate tycoon and owner of Fullerton Hotel. In 1997, the sister company of Far East Organization, Sino Group, took up the project of reconstructing Fullerton building into the hotel it is today, where they invested $400 million into this reconstruction project. The British colonization brought about a modern standard which was unknown to Singapore when it was only a fishing village. Apart from bringing the milestone system to Singapore, the British Empire introduced modern architecture during the colonial period. Many civic and commercial buildings you see today were built with the European architecture style, which includes the Fullerton building. This was aimed to showcase the splendor of European architecture. Also, the British had established missionary schools for children which introduced Western education such as science and arts. Many scholars were produced after receiving education, and these scholars were vital in contributing ideas on how to transform Singapore into a successful trading hub with solid infrastructure. Governor Sir Hugh Clifford said at the opening of Fullerton Building on 27 June 1928, This building is and will be for many years one of the principal landmarks of Singapore. He was indeed true, as Fullerton Building is now a national monument with social importance to Singapore's heritage.